Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News with me, James Dunn. On tonight's show we have Paul Fisher, editor of the Market Raisin Mail and Horncastle News, who will be taking a look at last week's papers. But first, here's Erica Barker with the headlines.
Hello, the headlines today. Plans to build a college in Scunthorpe which aims to help youngsters get a foot on the career ladder when it comes to the renewable energy industry get the go-ahead. And Royal Navy's minehunter HMS Grimsby leaves the town. The green light has been given to build the first university technology college in our region. The Humber UTC will be built in Scunthorpe and it's expected to create around 70 new jobs, including 45 teaching posts. Backed by local businesses, £11 million is being ploughed into the project that's set to open in 2015. It's hoped it will give young people the specialist skills they need for careers in the engineering and renewable sectors. Hull North MP Diana Johnson says she's bidding to give local people more power to stop the spread of lap dancing clubs in their communities. The Labour MP's Sex Establishments Bill will be heard in the House of Commons tomorrow. The amendment to the current law that she is proposing would require local authorities to consult with their communities and have a specific licensing policy for sexual entertainment venues. Bringing train stations back to towns like Brigg and Gainsborough was the focus of a meeting at Brigg train station. Various community groups met to listen to Northern Rail as part of a consultation to improve facilities and provide more services. Currently, the train stops at Brigg on Saturday only.
Is here today to engage with our local community stakeholders. We're very keen to talk to them about improving rail services in this part of the region in the future. We can give no promises, nothing will happen in the immediate short term, but by engaging with everyone who has an interest in the line, we can talk to the politicians at a local and a national level to try and convince them to make funds available to improve the railway services for the local people.
It's the lack of the service that makes people it means it isn't used, and the reason we're here today is because part of our consultation for the community-led plan, which we've done in the last 2 or 3 years, highlighted the improvement of the service and also an upgrade to the station, and that's why as part of the Brigg Town Council we're here to see if we can push this forward.
Car parking charges at hospitals in Scunthorpe and Grimsby are to be reduced from today. It'll affect patient concessions as well as visitor parking, with many ticket prices being cut by 50p, meaning they will be the cheapest among hospitals in the region. New school safety zones are set to be introduced outside 13 primary schools in northeast Lincolnshire. Subject to consultation, 20-mile-per-hour speed limits are to be proposed in a bid to improve safety outside the borough schools and offer more protection to children and other road users.
20 miles an hour is following good practice that we've had through the road safety partnerships, that speed does actually have an influence on accidents. So by taking from 30 to 20 in a residential and an urban setting, that will reduce the risks and obviously protect the children as they go into school and coming out from school as well.
Check, switch and insulate. That's the message from the Grimsby, Cleethorpes and District Citizens Advice as they hope to help cut hundreds of pounds from consumers' energy bills. As part of the national campaign Big Energy Saving Week, advisors are urging residents to get in touch to ensure they aren't spending any more than they have to. And the Royal Navy's minehunter HMS Grimsby is due to leave today. She docked on Friday and the crew welcomed local dignitaries and school children before the ship opened to the general public on Saturday. The ship, which last visited in 2012, spent 4 days at the Royal Dock.
This is Grimsby's ship, and it's really important for us to maintain that link. We're very, very well supported by all our affiliations here, and so to bring them on board and to allow them to come on board and visit the ship is very important. It's important for us to get the public on board. The Royal Navy by definition is out of sight for a great deal of time, and so for the public to come on board and to ask questions of our sailors who love answering the questions about the ship. They're very proud of it. It's really important. So, and then the third thing for me really is actually for our sailors to meet the public as well. They love showing off what they do. They're very proud of what they do, and it gives them that sense of enthusiasm.
And that's all from me. Until next time.
Thanks, Erica. Now today we have our weekly review of the local papers in the region. Here with me today I have Paul Fisher, who's worked for Johnston Press titles all over the country, but has been the editor of the Market Raisin Mail for the last 4 years and also edits the Horncastle News. And have I left anything out there, Paul?
That's about it for the moment, James.
Okay, brilliant. So we've got a few papers here to discuss.
Yeah.
What stories have interested you this week?
Well, I'll start with my own personal bias. I'll pick up the
Yeah,
Market Raisin Mail. So we'll start with the Raisin Mail. This week's front page was our exclusive announcement. We had it in the news first of who was going to headline the first of 2 Market Raisin Rocks events at the racecourse this year. It's Wet, Wet, Wet.
Are you a fan?
It's they had that great hit which was in 4 Weddings and the Funerals in the 90s.
Love Is All Around.
Love Is All Around.
Remember it well. Number 1 almost
I have
forever.
to be honest. I couldn't tell you too many more of their hits, but
I don't think many people could.
I'm reliably informed by some of my staff who are fans that you know, they've had hits for the last 3 decades.
Yeah, I mean they're a big band all over the world.
Absolutely. They had a sellout arena tour in 2013, and I think it's going to be another fantastic family day out at Market Raisin Racecourse. You know, this comes on the back of McFly headlining the racecourse last year, when they also had Scott Mills, the Radio 1 DJ. They've had James Morrison there in the past couple of years.
So no stranger to big names.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, they keep building on it year on year. They're getting crowds of 10, 11,000 people, which is a great amount of people, and it's a really fun-filled family day out. And of course, the gig comes after a full day of racing, and they draw some of racing's top names, you know, your McCoys and some of the top horses as well. So it's a real good event for the Lincolnshire and North Lincolnshire area.
Yeah, because of course it's the venue in Market Raisin.
Absolutely.
But it will attract people, presumably, from all over.
People come from throughout Lincolnshire, throughout North Lincolnshire, further afield, you know, Yorkshire, Beverley, of course, is a big racing community. So this is a big draw for the area, and it's going to be a really big day for the town in August. I'm looking forward to it very much. I've already got my tickets lined up, so I'll be there, see if I can grab a selfie maybe with Marty Pallow on the day. Seems to be the fashion at the moment.
Definitely,
so,
yeah. I look
why
forward
not
to
give it
seeing
a
that
try?
one in the Raisin Mail.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, what else have we got here with us?
So also this week, school exam tables
for all schools
have been making the headlines, and if we take a look at this was today's Grimsby Telegraph.
I think it was Fridays, wasn't it?
Sorry, Friday's Grimsby Telegraph, and they've got the
tables,
league tables. These are the
all...
GCSE league tables that have just been released from the Department of Education.
So they've got the schools from North East Lincolnshire, which is their primary concern, but we've also got Lincolnshire schools here. So who was leading the charge? Is it the same old faces? Or?
So top of the North East table for GCSEs, and these are schools, they're based on GCSE grades.
It's 5 A-star to C,
5 A-star
including English and maths, which I think is the benchmark, isn't it?
That's correct. English and maths are really seen as those driving key subjects, so they include those. And leading the way is Healing School, with 82% of their students achieving that benchmark.
Of course, in Lincolnshire there.
Well, they're closely followed in North Lincolnshire by Tollbar Academy with 81%. But as you say, in Lincolnshire, you've got the cream of the crop, if you will, Case Grammar. 100% of their pupils achieved the 5 GCSEs A-star to C, including maths and English. And that's very impressive. I understand that that's actually puts them at the 32nd state school in the entirety of the country.
Although it is a selective school, isn't it? So
it is a selective school.
You have to pass an exam just to go there, so they've got a certain advantage of that, which I don't know about how other schools in Lincolnshire feel about that.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, they're closely followed in Lincolnshire by King Edward VI Grammar in Louth, of course, again, a selective school, I believe, 96%.
What about those schools who didn't do so well?
So at the opposite end of the league tables in North Lincolnshire, we have St Andrews.
And that's in Cleethorpes.
That's at only 32%.
So that's a huge contrast.
And they've seen an 11% drop in that's year on year from 2012 to 2013.
Have you talked to local head teachers? How do they feel about the way in which they're judged?
We have, and this is key, I think. And a lot of the local head teachers say that these league tables say nothing about the school, about the education provided by their staff, by their teachers, that they're an arbitrary measurement because each year group, each crop of students have their different strengths and weaknesses.
Yet the benchmark remains
and yet the benchmark remains the same. And also that maybe this isn't the best way to grade a school.
Yeah.
You have to look at where the individual pupil was when they joined the school and how much progress is made, and that's not reflected in these set of tables. So a lot of head teachers will say that really these aren't a fair reflection of what's happening in our county schools.
This has been an issue for a long time, and I imagine it will remain an issue because
absolutely.
I suppose what is the alternative?
Well, quite. We have to have a yardstick of how our schools are doing, and a lot of people would say that this is as good a way as any. Maybe. Head teachers would disagree.
Clearly. So what else have we got here then? This is another interesting one actually, and this is in the Grimsby Telegraph, and this was about a shop trader in Freshney Place who's saying that after more than 20 years trading, he's going to be giving up his shop and he's going to be going into online. And he said that things like parking and online shopping have really affected business in town centres. Is this something that's an issue all over the county? Absolutely. I mean, a lot of high streets are struggling. Parking has been a really big issue, I think, in town centres across North Lincolnshire and Lincolnshire. Isn't it? East Lindsey District Council last year introduced parking charges where there had been no parking charges before, and raised parking charges where there had been. It's a big issue in Louth, a lot of feeling there about traders feeling they're losing business because it doesn't cost if you go to those big out-of-town shopping centres or if you just click online, whereas if you're going to independent small business owners in our towns, you're having to pay maybe £2–3 Would it be feasible
before you're even through the door.
Would it be feasible for these councils to say, you know, let's just knock it on the head?
Well, they would say that it wouldn't be because car parking provides a large part of their revenue at a time where they're having to make budget cutbacks as it is because they've got less money from central government. Certainly. However, West Lindsey District Council seem to be managing it because, of course, in the likes of Caister, in the likes of Market Rasen, both market towns not dissimilar to Louth, you've got free parking. And in those communities, obviously, Market Rasen's have been able to rejuvenate its high street with Portus pilot money from Mary Portus, and those town centres seem to be doing better than others. So that project's made a difference in Market Rasen? Absolutely. I think it's rejuvenated the town's market. More people have taken up, more businesses have taken up empty premises in the town, and more people are on the high street. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming in today, Paul. It's certainly interesting to hear about Market Rasen and more of the rural side of things. That's all from you. Don't forget now, if you know any of any local stories or issues, you can get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, on Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV, or email us on news@estuary.tv. That's all from us. We'll see you next time.